Jackson gave me the news of a planet far away. And Colonel O'Neill will assemble a team that will try to save the day. Dr. Sam has a master plan and a science attitude. And the job for Teal, he's part of the deal with his trusty go-out. It's just a regular day at Stargate Command, and it might be hard to understand.
Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Oh no, this is gonna happen. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 rise. We have a stable world.
Oh my God, that was so fabulous. That was just the best. I'm looking at this going, how did they do it? And I was bopping along. It was so good. It was so good. I love that.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to a very special episode of Three Fries Short. As you can see, we have a wonderful guest with us today, Teryl Rothery. Welcome.
Thank
She
you.
just heard our theme song, which was written and performed by the wonderful Aki Burmese of Lake Street Dive. He's wonderful. Yeah, when we were putting it together, Wells knows Aki, and they were
we
like,
went to college together, so that's the connection.
And we were thinking it's just going to be a little jingle, and then he comes with the whole song, like a whole chorus and verse and stuff.
Amazing.
That was amazing. And I love the voice too.
Oh yeah, he's super talented.
Wow.
So.
Aki is his name?
Aki Burmese, yeah. And he's currently tours with Lake Street Dive. He's a member of that band.
That's fantastic.
Anybody out there knows it. They're wonderful. Their music is such a bop.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love it. And I love the graphics. Who did that?
I did.
All Wells. That was all Wells.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
We are super excited to have you here today. We have so many great questions from people who have submitted questions on our Instagram post, emailed us, so many different avenues that they've sent us. So this is going to be super fun.
Yay.
We're going to get to talk about a lot of different things. One of the first questions was kind of for us as the Fries of like what our history is with the podcast and how we kind of came to be and how we're sitting here right now. And for that, we all met on the internet, TikTok. We all live in different parts of the country. At certain points, we were in different time zones. And we all met on TikTok because it was like the pandemic. And we just started to rewatch Stargate. I think a lot of people were experiencing that through the pandemic of like rewatching old television shows that they had grown up with. And we're like, we can't go anywhere. So what can I do? And all three of us were kind of doing that. And that's how we found each other. And then we just had so much to say and so much commentary and thoughts about it and looking at it through a modern lens. So we were like, let's start a podcast so we can blab some more and like continue to talk. And we're on almost 100 episodes, Wells. We're almost 100 episodes deep. We're currently in season 4 of the show.
Started in 2021. So
So we just forgive my ignorance. So you met on TikTok. So TikTok, okay, as you all know, for those of you who are listening, they know me, so they know I'm not really good with this stuff. So when you say you met on TikTok, TikTok is stuff that people put out, and then people make comments.
Yeah.
So you met through comments.
So here's how this happened. I can integrate. So Sarah was making videos around commentary, doing a rewatch. And like you can use hashtags, and there's like hashtag Stargate, hashtag, etc.
Right.
And then I was making videos where I was having like discussions as well and going through fandoms. And there wasn't a lot of Stargate content other than some of our other cosplayer friends that were on there. And so there's a very kind of niche group. So one day, one of Sarah's videos popped up. I think it might have been actually when you got like the necklace, Sarah. There was something where then you got a light. And so then I commented on her videos, and then people said, well, you two need to be friends. And so then we started following each other and talking and kind of reviewing each other's videos, and we would have that banter. And then Wells kind of started doing their rewatch, and then also joined in as a cosplayer, and it just kind of so that's it. So it's videos, and then you use
We don't need to talk to Teryl about my cosplaying days, okay?
No, we don't.
So,
Yes, we do.
so
But
when you
yeah, so that's it. So it's hashtags.
that's
So
how you guys
hashtags.
got together.
Yeah, that's how we got together.
That is
We
so
had never met.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
for those of you watching, because I've been in the company of these amazing humans, there is such a bond there. I honestly thought you all knew each other forever.
Nope.
Going
But
on like
that's the
4 years. Yeah.
But that was the beauty of how it came to be, is because had we not gotten along, it wouldn't have stuck. Like, we wouldn't have had that good camaraderie when we were making content or making videos. It would have just fallen apart. And that's why we kind of kept circling the drain, getting closer and closer to each other, because we kept having consistent thoughts and opinions. So
Yeah.
So when did you listen to me? I'm the interviewer here.
Hey, no,
When did you all connect in person?
I can answer that one.
Yes.
The first time we ever met in person, and they did it as a surprise for me, but they did have to tell me eventually that they were doing it. I was running the New York City Marathon, and they both came in to New York and cheered me on and made signs. And that was the first time we got to meet in person. Was them
That's
doing
the first time you saw their faces when you were going by. You saw these signs.
We met up before. We met up when I picked my bib up the day before, and we hung out for a little bit. And then I had no idea they had signs planned or anything. So I found out where they were on the course, and it was right as you drop into Manhattan, go across the bridge and drop into Manhattan. And they were there on the court. It was the perfect place they could be to, because that's when you're like kind of just over halfway and you're miserable and you're like, can I keep going? And then they showed back up at the end too.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
We were tracking you through the app of like where you were on the map.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the first time
What did you do? Did you embed one of those tracking chips inside her or something? How the heck?
bib. There that bib right there. And
so
when you run over certain little little mats that they have throughout the course, it logs where you are. So it's not live, but it's pretty, it's pretty accurate. And it's every couple of miles you run across one.
Well, it's a double
thing.
wow. A, that you guys connected, but B, that holy Toledo, you did a marathon.
I've done 2 full marathons in my life.
Huge.
I would like to do another one at some point, but we'll get there again.
Oh my gosh, the word marathon and my knees start to throb.
Right.
Jeez, it's like it's bad enough when I'm in Lotus and then I stand up and it's like, oh, right?
Yep.
Anyway, I'm so glad to be here. Did you notice our cups, everybody?
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. The very first companion interview live stream we did with you was when you told us this amazing story. And before the end of the live stream, a member of the companion had sent this graphic. Like, that's how fast
it worked.
It was done.
It was done. And we were just, this is perfect. This is great. It's my favorite coffee mug.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm just looking at all these names on the side. Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
Somebody just said that they can picture. I can't stop picturing everyone who's joining the chat joining a fry conga line for some reason. I want to be in the back.
In the back?
I think
That's
Teryl, I think Mara said that. You met Mara when we were at SpaceCon.
Mara?
Yeah, Mara.
Hi, Laura.
Yeah, Mara said that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm like, I have to ignore the chat for a minute. That's
it flies by. I will, everyone out there, if you have questions, we have a lot already, and we want to start answering them, or get Teryl to start answering them for us. But if you do have some questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We will do our best to get to them. If you have any other questions, let us know.
Yeah. So the first question, and I'm sorry, I don't know if I said this, but Adriana had asked us how the fries came together. So that was Adriana's question.
Yay.
The next question we have is for Teryl. This comes from Kate B. And they say, I'm autistic and queen of awkward most times. What are your most awkward moments in recent history, and how did you handle it and or move through the awkward embarrassment?
Recent ones? Oh my gosh. I've had the sad thing.
Or any that stand
How
out?
many, right?
Right.
The story of this one, of course, being one of them. But Awkward. I can't even remember an awkward moment. It'll come to me because if you start to try and think about it, they don't appear. But there's been tons. Oh, I can't go into the details of this story, but I remember it's until people get to know my sense of humor and it can be quite dry, right? And there was a fellow, an actor from a different show. There's a bunch of us on a flight. We were going somewhere, and I made a comment or asked a question, and I directed it very dryly, and it was quite, dry.
Mm-hmm.
My castmates, people that know me, was a different genre. They know me, so they got it, but this person couldn't believe, like, it was, you could see like there was a slight what? I can't believe you asked me that. And it was, and then and the thing is so, I was so bad. I could have said, oh, I was just, I'm playing around, but
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of went and then walked away. And I just kind of went, yeah. And then went to my seat on the plane. And then when I'm sitting there, then I kind of was like, ooh, that was really awkward. It was even more awkward. It is, you didn't let them know what you're like, who you are. And of course, classmates are like, it totally went over this person's head. I was like, I know. And I said, I didn't even clarify. Oh, well. And then I just shrugged again. But it was like, that was an awkward moment. It wasn't a knee slapping kind of crazy awkward. It was just really sitting and stewing in awkward. It just, one of those.
It's always the worst when it hits you after the fact, and then you're like, oh wait, I can't even do damage control now because like the moment has passed. And I get that.
It's like, even if we were to get off the plane, if I was to go to this person and go, oh hey, by the way, it wouldn't, it just, the timing, it just like, it was like it wouldn't work,
right?
So I had to just let it go. But that one was like, just that was an ew.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We didn't get it, but anyway.
Happens to the best
that's
of us.
my awkward moment, Kate B. One of them.
Thank you for that. Christina, do you want to take the next one?
Oh yeah, this is good because I'm also queen of some anxiety. Or do you want? Well, Wells, do we want to go down, or are we just picking random?
No, pick one.
I've got a good one. Okay,
pick your poison.
So, I was like, oh, so I think that we all have versions of this when it comes to feeling heightened emotions that can come up as like anxiety or kind of like we feel that space. So the question is, have you ever dealt with anxiety in some way? And I think what that means is like, obviously, have you dealt with anxiety? But more of like, I think what I'd like to know from that is, because we've talked, we know each other. So it's just, I think sharing this with other people, like, one, like what are some things that might bring on these like anxious or full feelings? But then two, what do you do to allow that to kind of move on? Like sit with you or move on. Like, what does that look like for you as Teryl?
Right. For me, when I think of my anxiety, I mean, because we all have it. You can call it different words, whatever. Right. Stress, whatever. It's usually generated from my own thoughts, being in mental mind and overthinking and putting out their assumptions on what that person must think, or what are they going to say, or how do I, and then it starts all the little voices, like in any avenue, not just in an audition situation or a public situation, but just anywhere. When it starts, it always starts with this. Nothing that is done, my assumptions of what could come next, that sort of thing. And for me, I always have to go back to the breath. I have to just go back, quiet the mind, breathe, and then it's like release. I just have to literally, physically, as if I feel it, and I just go, nope, releasing it, it's done, it's gone. Because once this starts, it's that snowball. It just goes, and it goes faster and faster and faster, and gathers up more and more and more and more and more until you're just a big splat of nothing, mixed in with all that crap in the snow and pebbles and dirt and all of that, right? So it's stopping it. You have to stop it before it starts to go. Just when you start to see that snowball starting to go over, you got to just tell this, like, no, this is getting out of the way. I'm creating this. Nobody is creating this. That person is not intentionally doing this. I am perceiving this to be this way. And hence my perception is making me go, oh my God, why is this happening? Right?
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of like, and again, I like that question because I know we've gotten to know each other and kind of in those spaces. And there are a lot of people who could benefit from recognizing that, one, we all kind of suffer with it in our ways, but if you can get into that like power of being present super in the moment and acknowledging as best as you can, and if you can't, find someone that you can anchor with, find someone that you can kind of help tether. But I just know that's been a really important discussion, and I think while we have this group, was a good one to kind of just put out there before we got into some of the other questions.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Another
Yeah, I
good
love that.
one, this just happened the other day with a friend who was projecting and completely out of the moment, and was explaining, but this, and then what if this happens, and going into that place. And so sometimes people work visually, everybody has a different thing, how we all are. So I just was quiet. We were in a car, and I just went, I said, you see that? And they looked, and I said, that's 5 seconds that will never come back.
Mm-hmm.
Those 5 seconds are gone. You will never get them back. You'll have more passing through, but we have the choice to decide, how am I going to spend that? Am I going to spend it in over something that I'm creating? I'd rather go, all right, I got this. It's not me. It's not me. I'm just thinking about this, and better. 10 seconds just went by and I feel better. Right?
I love that.
Yeah. So if sometimes this gets in the way that you can't really, and you need that visual, sit in that silence and just, who gives a flying poop who's watching if there's anybody nearby? Just do that. And remember, we never get them back.
Right. Something that really helped me is something I learned on TikTok. It's this theory of like, let them. So you're worried, my boss is going to fire me. My person's going to leave me. My friends think this of me, or this person thinks, let them. You can't control what they think. You can't control what they do. Let them. And then whenever it comes, whatever comes, if it comes, you deal with it when it happens. Just let them.
Yeah.
You can't control other people. You can only control
how you respond to it.
Yep. That was wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wells, you want to take us away with the next one?
Sure. Let's see. Which one do I? Okay, I'm gonna ask the one that came in very last minute. Stars for Paige, or Paige, who's in the comments over there, asks, what is everyone's favorite thing about conventions? And I think that's going to be interesting because there's all sorts of perspectives we have between the four of us about conventions. So, yeah. What is everyone's favorite thing about conventions?
You, Christine. They're circling you.
Oh, they're circling me. Oh, I have to do it? I have to ask this? I have to answer this?
I think we all do.
We all do, but you're first.
Oh, okay.
Nose goes.
No.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good. My favorite part truly is the what's the word? Like absorbing artistry. And I mean that like I get to see and witness so many amazing individuals, whether it is talent, whether it is, cosplayers, whether it is booth makers. Like at SpaceCon, I met an amazing artist that was right at the booth next to us, and I think I like bought out her entire, so much of her stall, because it was just, you get to know people, and I like being inundated with creativity and people and authenticity, because that really fuels my soul, because I'm really inspired by people who can live authentically, because we all have those things where we put buffers up, or we're like, maybe I don't want to show that part of me. But for conventions, I love seeing people live so loudly and so uniquely themselves. So for me, that's That's my favorite part. It's just all of it, because you get to see it all kind of blend and meld into one space where there's not this like barrier wall, so to speak, but everyone's just being them. That's for me.
I love that.
That's a good one.
Wells.
Okay, no.
Oh, I'll answer my own question. Well, it wasn't my question, I guess. So, the short answer is community, but the longer answer to that is well before the companion and the fries and being able to sit down and have these chats and being able to, facilitate panels, which has all happened in this last year, especially. I have gone to Dragon Con nearly every year since I knew it existed. And it was very clear to me very early on that, for example, Dragon Con is up to 70,000 people there at this point. It's huge. It's packed full of people. And 70,000 people that are not your con going people, like the normies, if you will, would totally overwhelm me. I would totally be freaking out. But because it's 70,000 of a certain type of person, and you feel connected to them and you feel like they're your family, even though you've never met these people in your life before, it just feels like home, So to me, that is my favorite part about a convention. And I consider myself so lucky that we've been able to go on this journey now. And now we get to, help talk about things for these people and provide space for these people. And, with the companion, we get to offer hang space, like, oh, you need a minute, come chat with us, like get out of it for a minute. And it's so lovely to be a part of that. But it started way back in, like, I think probably 2007 was my first Dragon Con year. And like ever since then, I've been completely addicted to that community and that feeling that you get when you're there.
Nice. Yeah. I think mine would be a combination of Christina and Wells. Like, I love seeing all of the artistry and like the people that are handcrafting things that are curtailed to like whatever the Stargate fandom, Star Trek stuff. I think that's really cool. But also just meeting people. Like, I didn't start going to cons until after we started the podcast, and being able to meet people who we see in our comments all the time, that we talk to on social media, and meeting them in real life is so cool. And then even people in passing are like, oh my God, I listened to you. I didn't even know you were going to be here. This is awesome. Like, I can't, I think it was at Basingstoke where it was a group of people that are like, we love the show. General Hammy, because we call Hammond Hammy. And like they kind of like made a joke about that. And it's just really cool to know that like we're reaching people across the world, and being able to meet them all in that one consolidated location for just a little bit of time. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So now that we have all gone, I'm giving Teryl the time to think of her answer. What is your favorite thing about cons?
I think most people who attend conventions where I'm there, I try to get it out there as much as I can. For me, it's the fact that there's the venue, the space, the opportunity to thank everybody who watches the show, right? The fact that there is that, like you say, I love that word, Wells, the community of it all. Because so many other shows, you don't have that opportunity to go, wow, I get to actually stand up here, not only answer your questions, but I get to say thank you, because you know what, 25 plus years, we're still coming and saying, hey, everybody, isn't this great? It's so nice to see you. And you're still there. Like, the people that tend to especially gravitate towards the sci-fi is there, for me anyway, this is my opinion, are some of the warmest, most loyal friends of the show. It's hard sometimes, we use the word fan, and they call it fandom, and that's okay, but I always think of it as friends of the show, that if it wasn't for their support, the show wouldn't continue to go. And if the show didn't continue to go, then where do the other careers go? So here's the thing, majority of the sci-fi friends is that they'll even follow you to different genres. Some are pretty specific. They like, that's what they like, but I still get the opportunity to say thank you. I'm so grateful. Yeah. But some will also go, I'm going to follow Teryl. Where is she? I'm going to follow Amanda. Where's my, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's, we say this, but I certainly say it, and I say it with meaning, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving, because it continues to give, but it's a reciprocal gift giving, right? I don't think people realize how much it brings to those of us who are there for you to see and chat with. It's just it's both ways. So that's how I
Well,
look at it.
and Teryl, you are such a gem. So I just wanted to, for those who haven't had an opportunity to meet Teryl at a con or any of that, you are always so kind, and it's not everyone's the same, but you take so much time and energy to just welcome people and make them feel truly like they are friends. And that is such a compliment to who you are as a person, because that just is who you are. And you are such a special person. And because I've seen people, comment or make videos, and you really do bring people to life. And I just want you to know that, because I'm sure you don't see all of that, but there's so much that you bring joy to when you greet people in the line and you go get out and you just give people a hug. I mean, you take that extra step, and that resonates and ripples across people. So just a huge thanks to that, because I'm fortunate that we got to see it in person, but also just want you to know that others feel that as well.
That's so nice. Thank you. Yeah,
I agree.
Thank you so much. I love it.
Thank you. So the next question that I'm gonna pick, I think this is really good because it can tie into like mental health and kind of taking care of yourself. Say you have an evening at home, no work items, kids in bed if you've got them, supper done, cleaned up, etc. What do you do to wind down for the evening? What is your me time? And that comes from Stephanie.
Okay. What is my me time? I have various me times. I call it sitting and doing what I call mindless TV, where it's stuff that I don't have to get caught up in and question the writing and what is the story, like that kind of thing. It's just, I get an hour. Oh, I'm going to put it on pause for a sec, go make some popcorn. Okay, hit play them. And then, go through a few more of those. I love that. I call it mindless, but it's not, obviously, because I enjoy it. I enjoy doing that. I love going for walks. I took up knitting during the pandemic. I'm a very slow knitter because I get so sidetracked, right? Typical squirrel. It's like, so then I get into different things. But I know a lot of people find it very soothing and very relaxing. One of the women I work with on Virgin River, Annette O'Toole, is a beautiful knitter. And it's like, those are the people that can be chatting to you like this, and they're doing their knitting, and then they're
doing like complex
something else. And they're, I got
like,
a husband. And then they're on their phone, and then they just pick up me. And and she'll sit there and we'll chat, in between takes, and she can knit. I'm like this. And then if somebody's talking to me, and if I'm doing a straight knit, I can talk. If I don't have to count, I can talk. But then when it's like the pearl,
knit and pearl,
if there's a pearl, like even if my daughter and her friends would come in, I was doing a pearl, I'd hear, Mom, and I go, not now, I'm doing the pearls. I'm purling. And she would say to her friend, my mom's doing her pearls. Just wait. And then I finish whatever pearl. Then I go, okay, I'm going to go to I'm going to put that over there, because then I know I'm going to knit next. And then I go, yes, what? And then I'm back to myself. But God help you, you catch me in the middle of a pearl.
Oh no,
it's over.
Yeah, that's how.
So do you know about Sarah's
oh God,
angry crafting?
You know about this?
Yeah, I've been crocheting a blanket for going on 2 years now, and I'm still not done with it, and it makes me so mad. And it's single crochet because I was starting out, and
is that like a chain?
It's really easy. I didn't want to mess with knitting because that looks way too complex. I'm also left-handed too, so I had to look up tutorials for left-handed crochet. I tried because I can do certain things, but I was real fast. I was like, this is not going to work. But I started at single crochet, which it's a really nice thick blanket, but it takes forever. And I need to pick it up again, and I already started a different one because I'm like, let me learn double crochet because that works up much quicker, and it's the same concept, it's just a little bit different.
You like it?
It's the same. I want to say it's easier or harder. It's just like once you learn it, it's pretty straightforward, but it's so especially single crochet, it's so time consuming for such little payoff, and I come back to it it isn't fully in the craft graveyard yet, but it's getting there.
You gotta follow it through. But
I gotta finish it.
The fact that you're doing the two different things, I've done that where, okay,
you
I don't
switch.
understand, and then I've got to do this, and then I'm marking things down, and then I'll go, and then I'll pick up a tea towel or whatever, and I'll just
Yeah.
go, and then I'm fine. So you have to have the two. But I love that you're doing that.
Oh,
I
Sarah's got a
started-
whole craft graveyard.
Yeah, I
different
started to, and of course I started with a blanket because I really love, like, this is a blanket that somebody made for me, and I'm like,
Oh, that's beautiful.
I
yeah.
want to be able to make this for me and
Yeah.
other people, but it's time consuming, especially if you just don't start single crochet and start smaller, maybe with not a blanket, like maybe a tea towel to start.
I love how
but
you were like, go big. I'm just gonna go big.
yeah,
Go
go big or go home. I got like 7
I think that's
schemes.
my fault, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm the reason Sarah went big because I also tried to start crocheting a blanket. And I was doing my mileage per day. So every line in the blanket was color coded to a number of miles I was running every day.
Oh, I love
And
that.
it was really cool, but it started giving me massive anxiety about like the expectation of running or doing something every day. So I had to stop it because I was like, it was causing me more anxiety about.
Well, you'd probably look at that blanket and see all the colors where you've been out running.
Yeah,
and
it
then
was
you
all
select
rainbow
a
colors.
solid color. It wouldn't stop because those are the days you decided to sit home and eat
I
potato
did-
chips, right?
I did set black as 0 miles. Like,
Yeah.
so it was like rainbow. It was a rainbow of colors and then black if I did
Black.
0 miles. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe I'll try it
so-
again in the new year. But it was.
Well,
it
let's
was,
do it together. The next con we're at, I'll bring
Bring
mine.
our
of
crochet.
course,
We'll have a knitting crochet circle. That'll be.
Yeah.
Like
I
thing.
love that.
right? And
Yeah.
Sarah, you
Oh.
can bring the
I
blanket.
will.
Loom.
I will.
I'm gonna have to start from scratch so y'all can just teach. I'll be like the little baby. I'll just be over
Let's
there.
attack Christina now and find out what are you going to bring.
I don't know. Well,
you gonna make?
if I'm gonna do it, I like the idea of doing it like color coded, like how Wells you were doing it by miles, and Sarah, I forget what yours.
I wasn't even switching colors, man. Like, I don't even want to try to get into that. When I
but
switch
see-
to a new scheme, that's enough for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
was a
Like,
lot.
I want to do I don't know, but I'll definitely I wouldn't do a blanket. I would do like a scarf or like a wrap. But I like to be
Yes.
cozy. So I would do something like that.
scarf
That's
is
like
good.
and that way it can be like a short line and I can just do many of them because my ADHD, like I can't go long. Like I need to do short and then
Yeah.
repetitive.
It's hard.
So yes, let's do that at the next con. We'll
I
work on
Sophie
that
does say
together.
in replacement of the bracelets, Christina.
Oh, Teryl, did you hear what happened last at SpaceCon with the bracelets? Because we have
What
to
did you
tell
do? What did you guys do?
I have my little bracelet here. Like,
Let me see.
and we were
They're so
making these.
cute. How did you make those? With the wire, or what is it, like a
It's
fishing
just
reel?
it's just elastic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
elastic.
we had this grand idea because there wasn't a lot of like Stargate content or like stuff because it got sold out in the first day or two. So we're like, well, we'll just make little friendship bracelets or things, and they'll
Just
keep
give
us
them away
busy.
for people. Yeah.
So we had a container with little beads in it and stuff, except for Teryl. We were doing it in the booth, and I sat it down on one of those folding chairs, and then I hit the folding chair, and the beads went flying to all the booths around us. Under everyone's booths, I had to crawl under everyone's tables to screw all the beads
Find your
back.
beads.
Yeah, so that was my legacy of SpaceCon, was making a huge mess in the auditorium area.
I think I was having a very like friendly but serious mental health conversation with somebody when it happened.
You were.
Too.
Oh, so
And
they're
I
sitting right there.
it's in
Yeah,
the
we were-
booth. Yeah, we were in the booth.
We're in the booth.
And I just hear,
We're right there.
and like beads
And I
everywhere.
just like, because it was such a serious conversation. I was trying to quietly in the background work on something.
Yeah.
So yes, crocheting will be much safer at the next con.
Yeah, you can't spill the yarn all over the place. Well, a ball could go
That-
tumbling, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
that-
Like that's the
that's-
worst. That's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
So.
But I can
Yeah.
teach you, lefty friend. I got you, girl.
Okay.
Christina's a
Okay.
lefty too. I gotta
Okay.
ask though, follow up to
Yeah.
this question, because you mentioned Teryl, like mindless television. What
Yeah.
are some of your favorite like mindless television things to watch? Is it shows that you've seen before, or do you just put on like true crime? Like, what do you like? What's your mindless television choice?
I love things like, first of all, I love great acting.
Yeah.
So, I am hooked right now on the new Matlock.
Oh, I love that.
Ooh.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates?
I
Yeah.
love her.
Is she not the queen?
She's amazing.
The
I love her.
subtleties, and yet she's able. I mean, all of that stuff, and that phenomenal beauty, like this woman who is owning who she is. And she's just so stunningly beautiful, stunningly beautiful. And the character that she portrays and the whole storyline, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I love that show.
Yes.
And then there's Elspeth. Have you watched that one?
No.
Oh, is that a spinoff?
I can't. Somebody said it is, but this character is wild and wacky.
She's a lawyer, right?
She's a lawyer with
Yes.
vibrant, fabulous colors.
Yes.
I mean, the costume designer on this gets to just play. It's brilliant, and it's fun. I love that kind of stuff. And then, so I'll go to that, and then I'll go to. There's a new one out that just came out with Billy Crystal, and it's like a darker Billy Crystal, like I think it's like a thriller or something. So I want to start watching that. I like that. I love I used to love Criminal Minds,
Yeah.
the CSIs, the FBI's, all of that kind of stuff. I love. So I'll just do things like that, and I binge if it's a really good. I'm right now. I'm loving Bad Sisters. I'm late to the gate with that one, but I love Bad Sisters. I love British. I love foreign TV subtitles because I just love how it's shot. It's just shot. It's raw, and it's all about the storytelling.
Yeah.
You know? So things like that. I love all that kind of stuff.
I love that. Thank you. I love Matlock.
I know.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But Christina, do you have another question that you want to bring up?
I do. So, and I was holding on to this one because we were talking about Virgin River earlier, but then we kind of went on a tangent. But someone had a great, just kind of compliment, but also question, because they said this is from Adela. It says, I love your character from Virgin River and your performance in the Christmas musical, which I actually just watched that scene. It's so cute. You're so cute in that. And they said it's such a lovely thing. It's so cute because I just can see you actually in real life being this way. But their question was just, how did you feel dancing, filming that scene, just knowing your background? Like, how did it feel to do that? Because you just
to do the Christmas one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was fantastic. Yeah. I loved it because I got to choreograph and run work with the director and the rehearsals, and it was so funny for Mark, who plays Dr. Hayek. So he would be doing something, and I go, no, my other hat's on right now. Come back, and we need to do this again, because I used to do that. I used to teach dance. I used to choreograph musical theater and all. So then I'd have that hat on, and then I go, okay, I'm back. And then I got to be like this, but I loved it. It was just so great to do it again, and to just, because I tend to fall into a different pace of walking and style. But back when I danced, it was always, I was still a klutz. I was like the klutziest dancer ever. Oh, I'd fall out of cars. It was insane. But you put me on a stage and then I would dance, and I loved it. That's what got me, as you all know, out of my shell of shyness. So it was great. It was so fabulous to do it again. I loved every second of it. And the cast, I love our cast. So it was fun. And Mark is a doll to work with. And yeah, it was good. And the kids, oh, so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
good. Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Wells, do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I actually have a follow-up to that question, which is, Teryl, you've done a lot. Well, what I would consider a lot of Christmas movies in general. So this was back when we were going to be more holiday conversation, and we've kind of shifted, but I still want to know, has doing those Christmas movies impacted any personal traditions of yours, or more generally, have these movies changed your outlook on the holiday season?
No, it hasn't changed my outlook, because I've always loved, and I would collect different Hallmark Christmas cards, and I would look at them, right, and they'd have the sparkles and the snow and the little cottage and the smoke, and I go, oh, I just want to crawl into this card. I want to just be in there in that town. So I've always loved it. So be able to go into those towns and fake snow, whatever it else. Sometimes you're freezing your little patootie off, but it's happy. It's always happy. I
That's
love that. I love how I was so disappointed I didn't get to do a Christmas movie this season, because they're usually one of the favorites because
Yeah.
that very thing, right? And
that's
even
really
if
heartening to hear that in the production it's happy as well.
it is
Yeah.
happy.
Mm.
There are times where, we generally film them in the summer.
Right.
So there are times where you are sweltering,
Right.
and the lights and the sun,
Yeah.
that can be a bit, whoa, my God. But I think I've been really blessed to have that, and I never ever want to lose it. That's what I tell my child, to never lose the childlike vision, right? I choose to see the world through my children's eyes, Teryl's eyes when I was little, because that's where my happy place is and the joy is. So I digressed. So yeah, so even in the summer, it can be fake snow, it can be whatever. I still see the Christmas tree. I still see the home baking and props. Oh my gosh. They're like, Teryl, seriously, you can't eat these ones. And I'll go, I have to make it look real. Don't I have to make it look real that I'm going to, these ones are like the star. We have to keep these. We only have so many of those per tape. And I said, well, what do I get? We've got a package for you to send you back. And I went, okay, thank you. I won't then. But that's,
Yeah.
because it's real. It's real. It's like, yeah.
I'm so glad you brought up too, because I was thinking about it with the holidays just being here, how we have all these Christmas movies, but then like I'm like thinking, when are they filming this? Is it like the middle of summer? And like that must be awkward. It's like 4th of July or like Easter time, and it's like, okay, let me get my
It's
little
literally
Santa hat
Christmas
on.
in July, literally.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, some of them you can still, I've shot in Winnipeg where it was like October, like a really close cut, maybe September.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Close cut to get it for Christmas. And that's when it's extra special, especially if
Yes.
you're in Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, where there's so much snow and like sub temperatures, which a lot of various states exactly what I'm talking about. And that's extra fun because you're really living it. And
Yeah.
I love it. Everybody's always in a good mood.
That's
For the
wonderful.
most part. Some are miserable. As everybody can find miserable people when it's too hot or whatever,
Of
but
course.
they're fun. They're really fun.
I do have to say that my mom, who we refer to as Bonnie all the time on the podcast,
Yes, Bonnie.
is a big Christmas movie fan, and she'll start pretty early in the season. And she was watching one the other day, and I heard your voice. I was like, "Wait a minute!" And you were playing a queen. You were playing a queen of some
Oh, yes,
sort.
I was the queen.
Yes, you were the queen. Yes, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I know
That
that. I know that
shot
queen."
that one in Edmonton.
Mm.
And
Oh,
right, just as we were about to film, we didn't know if we were going to finish it because they're saving the parts. Like, so I went for 10 days, my little section, whatever it was. But pandemic had hit. We were losing crew members one by one by one. I didn't know if I was going to get on the plane. It was right at the height of, we didn't know what, I was going to the airport to fly there, and people were walking around with masks and some gloves, like full. It was at that point in time where it was quite scary. So that was a hard one, but at the same time, what a great way to get through it. What a great, and that's the magic too, is sometimes I think of us as carnies, right? The carnivals. And essentially we are. It's that circus feel, and it's such a team thing. So you're just getting by the skin of your teeth, but everybody bands together and you make it fun. And it was, everybody on that show was phenomenal. Director, crew. Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
I love that so much.
What was the name of the movie? Do you guys remember? Because I'm sure people will want to know. So now we need to know where you played a queen.
Ask Bonnie. It was A Royal Christmas, I think.
I think it's something like that. Yeah. Bonnie would know.
Yeah,
Bonnie would know.
Okay.
Although I don't know. She watches so many of them that she'll she watches
she'll know,
so many.
right?
Yeah. Somebody in the comments, I'm sure, will say it. Actually, Laura T said, I watched that one yesterday. So Laura, yesterday.
What's it called?
Drop the title of the movie.
Yeah, Royal Christmas or They'll come up if they can come up with this freaking cup after one story. They can find.
They'll give it to us pretty quickly. Yeah, they will. They
So
will.
someone will figure it out.
Yeah.
But I love so much that the magic is also behind the scenes, and it's magical for you too, because like it's
Christmas with a crown. Sorry, interrupted.
Christmas
I'm
with a
so
crown.
sorry.
Thank you, Laura.
Pearl. I saw Laura pop up. Christmas with a crown. Thank you, Laura T.
Yep.
Thank you,
Love
Rachel.
it.
Yep, they got it. See, it doesn't take any time at all. They'll tell us.
Yeah.
Look at them.
All right.
I love
They're
it.
all coming in with it.
So the next question we have is from Stephanie. Do you have a certain type of role you gravitate towards when you're looking for auditions? You've played doctors a couple times. Do you prefer that, or are you open to about anything? Any roles offered to you that you were uncomfortable with or felt off and turned it down?
Yes, yes, no, yes, yes.
So that's a multi-layered question.
What do I gravitate towards? I tend to go to the comedy. And I love comedy. I love it. I love the timing. I love the quick, the wit of the writers, and I love that. But I also, I love it all. There's not one that I don't. Have there been? I truly love all genres. I really do. The emotional ones, when it's all about the story. If I narrow it down to answer any question, what is it that attracts you? It is the story. And what are we gaining from this story? What is it about? Is it going to evoke something that's going to piss somebody off? Probably. And you want that.
Yeah.
Is it going to resonate with somebody that they go, oh my gosh, I can so relate to what that character went through? Like something, the telling of the story that evokes some kind of an emotion or thought, or when you know what it's like when we're watching something. Hell, I think we've talked about it when we've been sitting in Amanda's hotel room. These guys were drinking. I wasn't, just saying. But when we were chatting, you know how when you talk about a story and then we engage in it. I know, but if you think about what that character did, like where you get into the story and what is the message, and those are meaty. It's like they're tangible. It's great to get in there and play. And the fluff and the light is the balance to that, because we turn on the news and we get all of that stuff, and to turn on something that's joyful and happy and makes you want to pee your pants laughing, it has to be a balance, right?
Yep.
Yes, I love that. There's a place for everything.
Yeah. And I don't watch horror movies. I used to as a kid. I used to love them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't do them anymore. And my daughter, who is now 16, she loves them. And I'll walk in and I'll go, oh, and she's like, Mom, you've been in them before. Why are you scared? I said, because I'm in them, I'm seeing how the prosthetics come, and I'm reading the story, and then we're all going, gashed or whatever it is, and eating lunch together. There's a whole different ballgame from being in it to sitting removed from it and watching it either on a big screen or a TV. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
As a filmmaker, I could make a horror movie all day long, but I have a hard time watching them.
Right.
And that being said, I am going to see Nosferatu later today, so y'all pray for me.
What is that? Yeah. I think I saw the trailer.
It's this kind of like they're way back to the 1922 silent Nosferatu, but they're updating it, and it looks really stark. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Yeah, it's dialogue. It's not silent. I did watch the silent one last night to catch up I hadn't watched it so long, so I rewatched it last night. But
I don't know what's the storyline. What's the I have no reference.
It's basically Dracula.
Okay.
But back in the day, Murnau, who directed the 1922, I'm gonna get real nerdy here.
nerdy.
Who directed the 1922 silent film version of it could not get the rights from the Stoker family to actually make Dracula. So, but also they were terrible with copyright stuff back in the day, right? So they literally, instead of Count Dracula, it's Count Orlok, but like basically the story is the same.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then
Count Orlok.
Yeah. So,
and that gets them through the rights. The rights.
I think in the 20s they just didn't,
Yeah.
There just wasn't a lot of copyright knowledge or legal stuff
just
like that. So I
different.
think they just I don't think that if they had tried to do that today, I don't think that would have flown. Like that would have been
No.
absolutely
No.
no. But yeah,
It's going to be like that's I think where with the horror stuff, because there's, I mean, the makeup, everything about filmmaking is so advanced. It's the gore when it gets to the
Mhm.
gore. For
Mm,
me personally, it's like I don't need to see that,
Yeah.
because for me,
mm,
not seeing it and what I'm seeing up in here by watching
mhm,
the story is enough. Does that
Yep.
make sense?
100%.
mhm.
But
See,
also
There
for special effects, I think it's like they must be like, yes, right?
yeah.
'Cause it's fun.
yeah. But see, like I can do gore. It's when it gets psychological that I'm like, I'm out. When it starts messing with brain stuff, and I'm like, that's where I draw the line. Like you can show me all the gore, but as long as it's like slasher done, there's no mental gymnastics for it. But if it goes into like that spiritual weird horror realm,
Yeah.
I'm out. I will be crying in a corner. You will not find me for like a
Yeah.
week. So yeah, that's interesting.
There's a movie that I've watched before. It's The Road. It's with Viggo Mortensen. I think it's
Oh
based off
yeah.
of a
Oh,
book.
I love
Cormac,
him.
Cormac
It is
McCarthy.
it is a
book for it.
wonderful
Yeah.
movie, but that was a once and done for me. I thought it was so wonderful. It was so good, but it was so sad. I'm like, I can't do this again. This was so hard to watch, but it was
Mm,
wonderful. So it's that dichotomy of like I love it, but it was so like sad. Like it evokes such emotion where
Yeah.
it's like I can't do that again. That was
Was it a horror?
I
No,
wouldn't say it was a horror. It was like
it's
a post-apocalyptic
about a
Oh,
thing.
father and son.
Yeah.
oh,
that was
oh,
just saying that I couldn't do that
Y'all
one.
don't
Yeah.
don't read the book, Sarah. It's like
I'm better
100
books
times
are
more
different
bleak
though.
than the
Yeah,
movie.
it
Oh,
bleak is
it's
bleak is the
bleak.
perfect word. It was so bleak and like felt so oppressive and I'm like, "Oh god, like it's good, but I can't stop watching, but like it's sad." And yeah, books are different though. I think I can handle more in books than I can like watching it with like you get all of the visuals and the soundtrack at it and everything. You know how I feel about soundtracks and like everything all together that elicits such emotion for me versus like a
Yeah.
book. I think I can handle that much better, but I'm
mm.
still not gonna.
I wouldn't
I'm
if I were
still not
you.
gonna.
Not on that one specifically. I
Yeah,
would not. I would
yeah.
I was
not.
gonna say, like a book, if from what I'm getting the feeling of this, which I will not watch, obviously, because that sounds like it would just do me in.
It's rough. Yeah.
But there's an intimacy with the book,
Mhm.
right? You think about it, especially
Mhm,
I like to read at night, and then it's just I feel like it's just me and this,
Mhm.
and then this
mhm,
and this in my own vision. I think
mhm,
the distancing of seeing it on a big screen where I can just put my head in my popcorn bowl. I always
mhm.
get large with, butter layered.
Oh,
All of it.
Escape there, and at home, I have the gift of, "Oh, pause that. I think I'm gonna fast forward through that little tiny bit, and okay, we
mhm,
start here." You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? But this, I mean, yes, you can just fold it up and say, "That's it, I'm
mhm,
not reading it," but that would probably get to me more. I don't know. What do you guys
Oh,
think?
that's
mm.
great. Yeah, I'm completely opposite. I don't know. I think because I have sobbed watching movies and a book has never made me cry.
Wow.
I don't know
Oh,
if
see,
it's
I'm like Teryl. I can't.
Challenge accepted, Sarah. I'm gonna find a book that's gonna make you cry. I'm gonna have you
Ooh.
read it.
I don't know if it's just a mental thing of like, you can't make me cry. You're a stack of papers. Like, you can't get me. Versus like
Bet.
again, I'm
Bet.
super emotional. Like I love listening to soundtrack music and even if it's from a movie that I love, just listening to that soundtrack will like get me emotional and like so for me, I think it's
Mm,
like the whole audio and visual medium of it.
Yeah.
But I'll accept your
mm,
challenge if you can find a
I'm
book.
gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I gotta go through
mm,
all of my catalog of books at this point, but I bet there's one. I bet there's one I can
mhm,
get. But
Yeah.
Oh,
mhm.
Wells is on a mission.
I'm on a mission.
Oh god, yeah.
Like the Last of Us episode with
Oh,
Bill and I'm not gonna no spoilers, but
Close your plug ears. Ah, la, 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 la.
la la la.
Bill and Frank sobbed like a
Oh,
baby.
oh, I did see that
Sobbed.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
That
was
to me, it was like that was award-winning
I was
performances.
like, this is
Oh,
so
absolutely.
beautiful. I
The
love it so
writing,
much. Oh,
award-winning writing.
That was so good.
How it was shot, how it was direct. Oh, I've got goosebumps.
yeah.
I
Mhm,
was a mess.
Yeah.
I was a
mhm.
mess. That was my favorite episode.
It was
favorite.
so beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
so cathartic to watch something and just cry when it's like not anything personal going on in your life, but like this art, this is so beautiful and moving, and just to be able to freely cry. And oh, I
Yeah.
loved it so much.
And those two actors, oh my
Oh,
gosh,
so good.
Amazing.
brilliant.
Amazing.
They, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna get emotional because my ADHD is going like down this. Now I'm going down this road path of like thinking about all the times I sobbed. Like I was like, oh, what's the last time I did that? Oh, The Wild Robot. So if anyone needs a cathartic cry, watch The Wild Robot. That is the most beautiful cathartic cry I've ever had. But anyway,
Sad ending. Is it a sad ending?
it's a beautiful ending. It's beautiful. You just have to sit through it. You have to go through the whole thing of The Wild Robot. It is the most beautiful maternal, paternal, like nature, like Teryl, you would sob in the best way possible. You would be a mess, but you would be so fulfilled at the end. You would just go, I have such like it gave me such an energy to just love and keep that going and just like have faith. It was a beautiful story.
Okay,
But
next time we're doing that.
Okay, we'll watch that together.
Our knitting and crocheting aside, we'll watch that. Boxes of tissue.
Cry.
Knitting and cry in circle.
Pizza? Can we still have
pizza? Let's still do the pizza. Pizza and popcorn.
Yeah.
Pizza and big salads. The pizza and the oversized salads.
The giant salads.
That freaking salad. I'm never going to live that salad down.
No, that thing was a big
I've never
issue.
seen a
You
salad.
can't possibly.
What the heck was that?
Okay, you have to tell the story. I don't know if we've told the story, but you have to tell it again for reference.
We've not told the giant salad story, I don't think.
Wells can. You guys can probably tell it better. I just know
Sarah was at the table.
I was at the table.
Sarah,
you were with us, right?
Yeah.
Sarah was on Team Teryl's table, and Christina and I were on Team Amanda's table because they wouldn't let us sit together. That was the other thing.
Our two kids was everybody. We were side by side, so if we wanted to, we could still reach and share.
Literally,
but they wouldn't let us push it together for some arbitrary, silly reason. You could anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, we were at. This was at Shore Leave in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We went out to eat, and Teryl and I were like, we'd like a nice salad, and they bring these salads out on like chargers that are like bigger than your head. It was just so big.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, it was like up to here, like you could barely see like your nose. Like they were so big, it felt like.
And I wanted some protein because I'm not a big meat eater, but I knew I had to have a little bit of protein. So I thought, well, if I get a little bit of steak, I'm used to, in Canada, it's like thin, and then I don't eat it all, but I get a little tiny bit. And this freaking thing, I think there was a whole cow on that salad. I mean, you were all laughing. It was insane. And then I was the one saying, "Oh, I'm going to eat something light. I just want to have it." Right?
Yeah.
Was it not insane?
Yeah. It was. I think you got. It was like some kind of like taco salad or like Mexi.
Supposed to be like a steak salad. Or
yeah.
And it was just like this pile when we looked over. It was just like
we were like looking at that. We were like, "Do you see that? Like, what the hell?"
And then I think it was like when it came, it was I kind of went like this.
Yeah.
And I looked over at you guys and I looked at Amanda who had ordered like a meal and I was like, holy
Which was smaller than your salad.
It's bigger than her steak dinner.
Yeah.
He's like, Tito, do you have a steak? I said, no, I want to go light. I'm going to just have a salad.
There were definitely to-go bags involved.
People ate. Who was I sharing with?
Lawrence was there, and then
Lawrence ate some of mine.
Yeah.
Plus, we had how many containers?
Oh yeah, we took stuff home.
And we're not talking about a little tiny round thing. We're talking about big, like full-on containers of this salad.
It's hard to fully describe just how gigantic those salads were. It's hard because people think, oh yeah, a large salad, but it's like, no, you don't. Like whatever you have in your head, make it larger.
Yeah.
By like 100, make it larger. Yeah. It was like, honestly, it did feel like it was getting pranked because it made it feel like someone was like, there's this really petite woman who ordered this salad. Let's just make her this gigantic. Let's just punk her. Let's make her this like it was the whole platter.
The way you looked at the server when she brought it out, you were like, this is all me?
I know. In her face, I was like,
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
I was stunned. I didn't know what to do. And it was
But
so
it was
big, you don't know where to
wild.
start. And Lawrence is over here. He's just laughing his ass off. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good, but it made good memories. But
But
anyways,
then I
that's the
still had the
salad
nerve.
story.
Weren't we all picking off his French fries too?
Yeah, because someone ordered a side of fries and it was like this giant platter. And I'm like, what is a side? Like, have they lost the plot of like what a side is?
Meanwhile,
Like,
literally, if you ordered a meal, because I ordered like the tuna dish, and it
Mhm.
It
was
was like
the most normal size meal, the most normal. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
god. Oh gosh. Okay.
Well,
Um
now everyone out there has
We
has
digress, and
now
then I'm
fully into what we usually do when we're chatting with Teryl. But
I
Yeah.
know we just
yeah,
lose our plot. We just
we
start.
we do. But wait, Teryl, there was a good question here, and I think it got marked, but it's something about a book. It's in the notes because we
oh
were
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
books.
We were talking about books. It's I have it highlighted. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, you can highlight.
Actually, I think he
oh,
did
yeah,
it
I see it.
again. He also did it in the YouTube
Question.
comments.
Oh yeah, perfect. Just put it
What
there.
was the
Yeah.
first book
was the
you
first-
remember your parents reading to you, or the first book you remember reading for yourself? Well, I'm dating myself. Is it Revan? Revan?
Yeah, also known as Jason. When he submitted it
Okay, Jason.
earlier, it was Jason. You can call him Jason.
So, Jason, maybe your parents, or God forbid, you're so young, it would be your grandparents. But I remember my first book was a used book. Granny used to read books to me all the time, but I can't remember what they all were. There were so many different ones. But the first book I was so excited to read. I loved the smell, even then, right at 5, 6, whatever, grade 1, and the smell of the book. And it was called Dick and Jane.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
I know Dick and Jane. Yeah.
I'm gonna look around at some old bookstores because I want to get a copy. See Spot Run. Look, Jane, look at Spot Run. And it was the repetitiveness. And I just thought I was so amazing that I could read. I was so excited to read. I think I'm one of those. My daughter very seldom reads. She's starting to get into it now, but I loved reading. I absolutely loved reading. What a great question. I love that. That was my book, Dick and Jane.
Dick and Jane. Oh, go ahead. I feel like there's some. I'm in
You
my
have
mom's
it.
office. Well,
You
I'm in
have
my mom's office. It's somewhere. I'll send you a picture of it. But somewhere she has all the old Dick and Jane books because then we had them when we were children.
And it was hard, but then you'd see the fraying of it was like a material back then. It was like a material, not paper, and it would fray at the corners. And then I had my bookmark, and I got to put the bookmark in that book, and I held it like I was like, I knew exactly what I was doing, right? Oh, I love that book.
Oh God. Okay, good
Wonderful.
to know.
That was a good question. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. I think we're about to come to the end of our time with you, Teryl.
Yes.
So I have one more question, and that kind of rounds us out. But
Yeah.
we're in our order. So I think I like this question from Sophie, who you also met at SpaceCon, and I think this is a really good one to end it with, which is what would be Teryl's and the Fries' plan for January 1st? Maybe any resolutions or any wishes for 2025? Anything?
Yes, I say we have to get together in the physical.
Yes.
That is a must. And we're going to go and eat, and we're going to just do what we do, just laugh our patooties off. I was going to say laugh our ass off, but okay.
You can.
You can. We're very. You can cuss, Teryl.
Thank
okay.
you. So that is a definite must. What else is? Well, let me hear. Okay. I don't know if this is feasible, but I would love. Oh, I get so emotional. I would love to be able to turn on the news and not have all that stuff happening around us. That would be such a great New Year's, right? That would be great. So that would be my deep felt serious thing. It would be nice to turn on the news and just it's done. We're all okay. And then the frivolous one is one salad for all of us with a side of fries, literally. That kind of thing. Yeah. That would be mine.
I love it.
I love it too.
Sarah, do you have any January 1st plans?
I I'm boring. I just like the same old like fitness goals. This is gonna be a big year for me. So like
Yes,
there's
it is.
Why
Yeah.
is that, Sarah?
Why is that, Sarah?
Pray
I'm-
tell, Sarah.
I'm getting married this year or next year rather. So there's lots of stuff to plan. The fries will all be there. They all have gotten invites, so there'll be a fries wedding. But yeah, just to keep
Teryl,
getting through
if
it.
you want to be one of our +1s, you're welcome to come to the
Thank you
wedding.
very much.
I can send you a save the date. They're magnets. They stick to the fridge.
We'll sneak you in. We'll sneak you in.
sneak
Come. Sneak in.
My dad would be like, "What is happening?" Because we watch Stargate together, and he would probably like not know what's happening.
Well, the
keep you
first thing you'd say is, "What the hell happened to Frasier's hair? And when did she get so
No.
old? Bring
No.
her back to sarcophagus."
No. You lovely person. Stop it.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, but on a more
Yeah.
serious
I'm so
note,
excited. Okay,
thank
so
you. But just to get through the year, and I like try to stay positive in a world that feels like it's getting less and less positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wells, Christina.
You want me to go next, Wells, and you want to round us out?
Yeah,
or
you can
want
go
me to-
next. You can go
Okay.
next.
I would say kind of my January 1st focus along the same sentiments is I would love to go into the next year with a lot more peace in the center of me and less anger and less like sadness. Because I think that's what I need to get through, especially with my daughter, the next bit of time. So I would love to make next year about continuing to build community. And that is seeing Teryl, seeing you more, going to more cons, being around my people, like having that time together, really focusing on the people who really fill my cup instead of drain my cup. And I just feel so honored that you've become a part of that and you are a friend of mine and of ours. And it's just so that is on the that's my focus for this year, is kind of just investing in those spaces that make me feel authentic. And I would love to have a little bit of a better view forward, but I've got some big moves in 2025 I've working on to make sure me and my kiddo are where we need to be. And but January 1st is just about having hope. And I actually have hope tattooed on me, but it's just about having hope that, like, it's a little crooked, but like just I want to hold on to that. That's my January one. It's just going to be a year of hope.
Yeah,
because that's all I can have.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also similarly, so I tore my meniscus back in September. So I'm very much looking, I made myself wait until New Year's resolution to start jogging again, but I'm so excited. I want to be doing more of those. So that's a big goal, is to get back into that, because it helps my mental health as much as it helps my physical health. And that's really important. But kind of along the same lines as all of us again, I think we're all very aligned with this, is, after November 6th, I spent 24 or 48 hours going, am I going to have to like slink away? And then I decided, no, I'm not doing that. So my other goal is to live fiercely and openly and as myself, through no matter what's about to happen. So
Amen.
yeah, I'm just I'm not gonna go quietly. Let's
Into
put
that
way.
good night.
No,
No.
no, it's not happening.
No.
So
No.
yeah. And I think I really, all of y'all out there, whatever you think about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, there was a statement that she made not long after the election, which was like, the best thing you can do is find your community. That is the first step. That's what you have to do. And I think we have found it, and we have it here, and it's wonderful, and it's so important. And I want to tell all of my community how much I care about them. I need to tell them I love them more. I need to tell them I care about them more. That's just so important. Yeah. So agreed on everybody's, like,
all the loves.
For
yeah,
real.
there's a lot of love in the comments right now too. Thank
Yeah,
y'all.
look at
All the
that.
hugs. It's so wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Teryl, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here. It's
Of
been nice to just be able to
course.
have a solid catch up just
Yeah.
with people watching us as we do it. But
No, yeah, right. We forget. We're just like blah blah blah.
yep.
That's
Yep.
fine.
But yeah, I hope everyone personally out there, we can all make our whatever, but I hope final statements, but I hope everyone has a wonderful beginning of 2025, as wonderful as you can. And we'll be back to some what we like to call episodes as soon as possible. Because I have no idea what episode we're even on anymore, Sarah.
Yep. We'll get
I
there.
forget too.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We will.
Yeah.
Good.
That's me.
Right.
What
Look at all of this. This is fantastic. Everybody's saying all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on, Teryl. This was so wonderful.
Oh
Thank
my
you so much.
gosh. My pleasure. I loved it. Thank you. Anytime.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'll just
Teryl,
help.
we do have a tradition
No.
on Three Fries Short, which is somebody has to close the iris at the end of every episode. And usually when we have a guest on, we ask them if they can close the iris. You can choose how to do that. Sometimes we make jokes about it. Sometimes I don't know. How else would you describe it, Sarah?
We riff.
We're really glad we riff, but we're really glad you're here because we kind of like we're
We
at a
like
point where
pretend
we-
we're Walter. We're pretending we're Walter having to close and like protect Stargate and close the iris.
Yeah. Or you're Hammy
Or yourself.
closing that iris, yelling to close the iris, or are we closing the iris on 2024? I don't know.
Yeah.
However you want to do it. But as soon as you close that iris, I'm going to hit this credits button, and that'll end us out for the episode.
Well, I'm choosing to close the iris, but not fully.
Oh.
So, in my mind's eye, when I think of the gate,
Yeah.
we're going to close it, but we're going to leave a little pin light, just enough that there's a constant flow of energy to the P7X292398582, whatever that might be, but just a little pin light. We can't be hurt. The gate room cannot be destroyed, but there is a constant breath going back and forth to wherever we want to visit. So that is how I am choosing to close the gate.